you feel like your defense performed today?
Our guys were connected out there. I thought we were physical. Thought we played hard. Thought their technique was good for the most part, and the communication was good for the most part.
Just how did you feel like the pressure was? It felt like you guys were getting a decent
Yeah,
amount in the backfield.
Yeah, it seemed that way. I mean, we'll have to check the film, but it was just good to go against a quality opponent. I got a lot of respect for the Saints, for Derek and that skill group of guys. Michael Thomas, Alohi, Kamara, that group of guys. The line has been together a lot, so it was a good test for us today, and I thought we got good work on both sides of the ball.
At this point in camp, how important is it to get Austin Johnson, back out here getting some work in?
Yeah, you saw him out there today. Yeah, we had it's a big addition to the group. He's worked really hard, Lindsay, to come back. It's been a fight, but he's just wired the right way, and now we just got to build him back up and make sure that we take our time. But definitely a good sign for us that he's back.
Just checking in with the other guys on PUP, Jalen and Tito. Is there any kind of projection on when those guys might be coming back?
No, Lindsay, no updates on those two.
We've seen Alohi out of practice here the last couple of days. What's he dealing with?
He's got like a knee contusion.
How concerning is that?
We've asked a lot about the run defense. I know it can be hard out here when they're not tackling to the ground, but did you get a sense of how the run defense would have played today?
Yeah, like camp. It's been good. Solid. Edges were good. Tackling was good. So, and like I said, that back is going to be as good as a back as we'll face this season. So a lot of respect for him. And, they've got Jamal Williams over there. And so definitely a quality group to work against for sure.
What have you seen from Derwin James in camp?
Playmaking, leadership. I think he's playing with more technique than he ever has. He's really made it a focus to improve, I think, the aesthetics, in terms of how it looks. We've asked him to do so much because he's capable of so much, but I think he's really improved his fundamentals, but was a playmaker out there today, and, all the play style leadership stuff like he always does.
How much does his personality kind of rub off on guys?
Yeah, I just think he's so comfortable. I think he's been here now. Everyone knows that, he's one of the faces of this team, and I think being able to take on that leadership role and then carry that leadership role with guys like Khalil and Sebastian and Joey and Eric and K9, like they're able to really lead our team and our defense the right way, and we just need Derwin to be Derwin. He's been steady for us since I've gotten here. His resume speaks for itself, and he's just continued to make the improvements as a player, and we're so lucky to have him.
You sometimes try and lighten his load a little bit so he doesn't have to play Superman basically for this defense, or kind of what do you feel like going into
He's always going to be everywhere, so that he's going to be a lot of different places because that's how you got to use him. You got to use him as a weapon. But I think we've built around him since I first got here. I just think the pieces that we've added around him on all three levels have allowed him to just shine in those roles more. And he's had a really good camp, and I'm excited about his progress.
Where do you think Stan?
During these joint practices, how aware are you of what's going on the other field?
I get the briefings, I try to do the one-on-ones with the offense, and then I get briefed as we go. So you definitely have a feeling of how it's going. And then, Dennis, Allen, and their group, it was just really good to work with today. Their coaching staff, I just commend them. This is a great work day. And, again, I think both sides of the ball on both teams and the kicking game, we got better today. And that's the whole goal of these things.
Where do you think stand in the kicker competition? Obviously, Dustin's been out a while until today. Just where's your assessment of where that's at?
It was good to get Dustin back. There's still going to be time to let those two duke it out. And so now that he's back into practice, that's going to be good for the evaluation for sure.
How have you felt about Cameron Dicker's performance so far?
Cam has been consistent since he first got here on Thursday last season. He's kind of the same guy every day. Still improving as a player because he's a young player, but he's been very consistent for us.
What do you think J.C. Jackson's
Thought he had a good day today.
Okay.
I thought he's been more available, and so I think he's increasing his stamina. And I think that's going to be the thing that comes with it, is just the stamina, and then that ultimate confidence that comes with just practicing every day and getting the workload, but improving.
For starters, are the joint workouts more beneficial because you can work on situations and everything compared to a preseason game?
Definitely, yeah. You can get through you can paint the whole field. You can get all the time and score stuff that you want, and at the right tempo and the right pace. And when you work with a good team like New Orleans, you're going to feel really good about where you were after 2 days. So, and the quality of the competition, certainly something different schematically where, you have to face a little bit different looks and apply your rules, and that's always a positive too, because you're going to see who can really perform under that pressure.
Into Sunday's game, are you kind of figuring the same sort of personnel plan as far as who's going to play, who won't play?
Yeah, I think it'll be similar, Lindsay, and then just based on these next 2 days that there could be some subtle changes, but pretty similar.
Seen Asante at Star quite a bit here the last week and a half, 2 weeks. Just what has he shown you in that position specifically that gives you the confidence to run him out there with the starters?
Yeah, he's improved in a big way in there. Started in the springtime, his development. DA, Tommy Donatel, and Will Harris have done a really good job with him, and a lot of his best characteristics are suited to play in there because he's so instinctive. He's got that trigger. He can key diagnose, which is a big part of the job, and then I think just getting comfortable in the run support and the blitzing roles, he's gotten a lot more comfortable in there. So he's a versatile player. I think he's had an outstanding training camp. He's been one of our top playmakers, and we're going to continue to rotate those guys in there.
On a broader level, when you're talking about that position in the slot, does that player in the run game get isolated less often than a guy on the outside?
I mean, it depends. I think corners and nickels in the NFL have to tackle just by the nature of the league trending towards more cut splits. And so when the formation gets close, now they're going to attack the run support, which corners or nickels are going to have to be a factor in the run support. So there's nowhere to hide in the NFL now, and that's why you've heard me say it takes all 11 to play good run defense. Asante, he's got the trigger that you need in both places, and so his experience really, I think, has shown up. And then I just think he's gotten the work at Star. He's repped there, and now he's more comfortable in there, and then you're seeing the playmaking ability as a result.
What do you thought Khalil's camp so far?
Khalil's been fantastic.
Just more of a connection with him and Joey, you two together?
Yeah, I mean, Khalil's going to play well no matter who's playing with him, but when you put Joey Bosa on the other side and Joey's rolling like he rolls, you're going to feel all the playmaking, and vice versa. It's the same for Joey. When you got Khalil Mack on the other side, it's gonna really help their overall performance. And Khalil sets a high standard for that edge group, and you're seeing the impact that he and Joey have had. I think as leaders, Joey's been exceptional leading this edge group. We've got those 6 guys behind them have had really quality camps, because they're just soaking up all that knowledge from those 2 guys. And those 2 guys have been very consistent for us, and they had a good day out there today.
One of those depth players, Chris Rumph, just with his game, what's the biggest difference this year versus this time last year?
Just more aggressive. I think you guys can probably feel it on the sideline. He's on the attack. He's not waiting around. And so he does have playmaking ability. I think if you look at his sack production in college, if you're one of those people that believes that of sack production in college will translate, he had the production in college. He just needed to fill his body out. He's a great guy. He's got all the intangibles, but now I think his body is caught up to his intangibles, and he's just more aggressive. And he's got a motor, and he's improving.
When you say with Asante trigger, what do you mean exactly?
Meaning like trigger implies what's coming. You have the anticipation. When you see these players trigger and they flash, it's because they have the anticipation, the reaction, where they're ahead of the play. And that's one of Asante's top qualities. When we drafted him, it was obvious at Florida State that he has that trigger that most good defensive players have. And so you need someone in the slot that has that, because in the slot, everything's happening faster. Out wide, you have more time. In the slot, everything's happening faster. So you have to have someone who can think in there. And then from a physical standpoint, you got to have the quickness to stay with quicker players. But the thing about Asante is he is a strong guy. He's not some peanut in there now. He's a 186, 187-pound guy. He's packed up, so he does have the strength to play in there. And so, again, you guys have seen it all through training camp. He's been one of our top players in camp.
Did something happen with Mark Webb early in team drills? We didn't see him back in there.
Yeah, I think we kind of held him out as a precaution. Just kind of felt something at one-on-ones, and we'll know more after practice.